The boat bobbed in the water, going nowhere. She read the note taped to the counter twice and still didn't understand. This is the only way out alive. It felt like the sea urchin spikes were being jammed into her temples. Closing her eyes against the headache, she stumbled, slamming against the stove in the minuscule galley. Metal pots clanged together. She flinched. The movement of the boat and the dizziness from her headache intertwined, both eager to push her to her knees. She willed time to slow so she could sort out what was happening. But the waves lapping against the hull persisted in the same unrelenting rhythm. Leaning on the counter, she forced her eyes open and stared without recognition at the long fingers and neatly trimmed nails in front of her. The hands weren't hers, weren't familiar at all. Nothing was familiar. She felt sick, didn't know why. When she tried to recall the previous day, to remember what she'd done to cause this, her mind served an expansive blankness. She groped for some recollection beyond waking up and staggering out of bed minutes ago. Anything. But it was all gone. How she'd come to be in the cabin of this little boat. Who she was. Her name. She gripped the counter and held on to the edge designed to keep things from sliding off in turbulent waters. Tried to focus on the typed letters marching across the paper. Movement above the sink caught her eye. The note forgotten. She put a finger on the mirror, then on her cheek to confirm what she was seeing. A stranger's face. She dropped to her knees. Her body clenched, threatening to vomit but unable to. Dragging the palm of a hand across her dry lips, she sat back, closed her eyes, and shut out the fact that she didn't recognize her own face. She focused on the rocking of the boat. That sensation was familiar. The rigging creaking outside. That sound she knew. She was on a sailboat. She knew boats. She knew. That wisp of familiarity let her breathe. She extended the hands she didn't know, inspecting them through squinted eyes. Turning them palm up, shaking. She saw hardened calluses, evidence of labor she couldn't remember. Putting the hands, her hands, on the varnished floor, she steadied herself. Okay. Her lips tightened into a thin line. The voice was wrong, too. She traced fingers along the back of her neck. Working them through her long hair, she inspected her scalp, hands trembling but methodical. No sign of injury. No reason for the intense throbbing behind her temples. For the blankness. She grabbed the edge of the wooden counter and heaved herself up. A flame flashed across her right shoulder. Fuck! She hugged the arm against her torso. Ribbons of pain reached down to her hands and made her vision fade at the edges. Tears formed, but she wiped them away, clenched her jaw, and stood straight. She tore the note off the counter and read it again and again and again. There are pills in the drawer for the headaches. You want answers, but this has been done to keep you from them. This is the only way out alive. Start over. Don't make yourself known. Don't look back.